What is one challenge you've already started to release on your self care journey? I would love to know. But before we get into it, first, let me welcome you to the break room, or welcome back to the break room. This is our weekly gathering for Black women nurses who want to go from perpetual self sacrifice to prioritizing self care. And I am your host, Deetra Dennis, the self care coach for nurses. And this is a space for nurses who value, honor, and invest in the full circle well being of their most valuable patient, themselves. If that's you, lean in. And if that's not you, listen. Everyone is welcomed here. And I invite you to stay in with us and first say thank you for even staying around. And in this space, this is where you can pause, reflect, and be nourished. So let's get back into what we talked about. What is one challenge that you've already started to release? What is it? Type it in the chat for me and let me know. So today we're talking about looking back to overcome challenges. I know we often push forward or rush forward without pausing to reflect on how far we've already come. But did you know that reflection is where the progress becomes more meaningful? And to reflect, this is what it means: to think quietly and calmly. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, that is what reflect means: to think quietly and calmly. And a scripture that comes to mind is actually in Genesis when God had done the work for the 6 days. And actually, after each day, he said it was good, but especially on the seventh day, he paused and looked back on what he did on the first 6 days and said it was good. So reflection is not anything new. And it's great for you to reflect as well. And so it is a form of self-care, if you didn't know, because it promotes personal growth and well-being by allowing you to learn from mistakes. And I like to say there are lessons. There are no mistakes. You just learn from what occurred and course correct. And then it allows you to adapt to new situations, make better future decisions, improve your relationships, and cultivate a greater sense of harmony and abundance in your life. Reflection is something that we need to do, don't you think? So again, looking back helps us see the progress we've made and the habits, beliefs, and myths we've, started to leave behind. And there was an article published by the National Institutes of Health entitled Reflective Practice in Healthcare and How to Reflect Effectively. So it mentioned that reflective practices allow you to recognize your strengths and weaknesses, improve your motivation, and improve the quality of care you're able to provide. And I like to say it's how you're able to serve from your heart at the highest level. And that is how I feel we should operate each and every day, whether we're working in our career, whether we are engaging with our family or with our community. It's important to serve from your heart at the highest level. So reflection strengthens your growth. And this is how you do it. Number one, acknowledge what you've released, be it old habits or myths. This allows you to understand the root cause of past behaviors, because if you start seeing patterns, as you're reflecting, this helps you in course correcting, any of the old habits or old way of thinking, old mindsets. And it reinforces new patterns. And this is what I always like to say: when we are looking back on the things that, we've released, extend grace to yourself. Don't judge it. Extend grace, because now you learned from where you were and you're now on a new path, right? So extend grace to yourself about your personal growth. Number two, celebrate even small progress in your self-care. I'm not sure if you read the book, The Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he emphasizes that rewarding yourself for small wins is a powerful and necessary part of building and sustaining habits. So celebrate those small wins or celebrate your small progress. And lastly, identify one area where you want to keep improving. And continuous action is essential for maintaining a habit because momentum makes it easier to sustain that behavior over time. So, reflection again strengthens your growth when you acknowledge what you've released, celebrate the small progress, and identify one area where you want to keep moving. And I know I mentioned this each time about the masterclass from Superwoman to Self Care. It is, again, my lived experience of how I was able to transition from being everything to everybody to prioritizing self care for me, right? Prioritizing that care for me, caring for me the same way that I gave the best care to my patients or in any role that I've operated in nursing. So that's why I mention it each time, because it's one, free, and it is an opportunity to have personal development, and you receive one continuing education hour for scheduling time for yourself. So I invite you to enroll in the Superwoman from Superwoman to Self Care masterclass, and the description is below. And I would love to see you over there. And we always end with a great quote. The journey into self love and self acceptance must begin with self examination. Until you take the journey of self reflection, it is almost impossible to grow or learn in life. So well, you know what? I always forget this one. So if you would like the video, subscribe if you're tuning in on YouTube, and share with another nurse you feel could benefit from the information that we talk about here in the break room. So caring is sharing. So go ahead and share this with someone else. And so again, until we gather again, I wish you a wonderful week.